Hey, what's up you guys? It's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below what you want to see in the future, basically book recommendations. Click that subscribe button and turn on my post notifications, that way you get notified every single time we upload a video of whatever book we are on. And I know you guys are so ready for it. We are going into the third book of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, As Good As Dead, so let's get right into this. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, please click off of the video now. You have been warned. I'm so excited for this. As Good As Dead, the final to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder novel. Part 1. Which is also chapter 1, the beginning of the book. So here we go, chapter 1. Dead-eyed. That's what they said, wasn't it? Lifeless, glassy, empty. Dead eyes were a constant companion now, following her around never more than a blink away. They hid in the back of her mind and escorted her into her dreams. His dead eyes, the very moment they crossed over from the living to not, she saw them in the quickest of glances, in the deepest of shadows, and sometimes in the mirror too, wearing her own face. And Pip saw them right now, staring straight through her. Dead eyes encased in the head of a dead pigeon sprawled on the front drive, glassy and lifeless, except for the movement of her own reflection within them, bending to her knees and reaching out, not to touch it, but to just get close enough. Ready to go, Pickle? Pip's dad said behind her. She flinched as he shut the front door with a sharp clack and the sound of a gun hiding in its reverberations. Pip's other companion. Yes, she said, straightening up and straightening out her voice. Breathe, just breathe through it. Look, she pointed needlessly. Dead pigeon. He bent down for a look, his black skin creasing around his narrowed eyes, and his pristine three-piece suit creasing around his knees, and then the shift into a face she knew too well. He was about to say something witty and ridiculous, like pigeon pie for dinner, he said. Yep, right on cue. Almost every other sentence from him was a joke now, like he was working that much harder to make her smile these days. Pip relented and gave him one. Only if it comes with a side of mashed ratto, she quipped, finally letting go of the pigeon's empty gaze, hoisting her bronze backpack onto one shoulder. Ha! He clapped her on the back, beginning, my morbid daughter. Another face shifted as he realized what he'd said, and the other all meanings that swirled inside those three simple words. Pip couldn't escape death, even on the bright, late July morning, in an unguarded moment with her dad. It seemed to be all she lived for now. Her dad shook off the awkwardness, only ever a fleeting thing with him, and gestured to the car with his head. Come on, you can't be late for this meeting. Yep, Pip said, opening the door and taking her seat, unsure of what else to say. Her mind left behind as they drove away, back there with the pigeon. It caught up with her as they pulled into the parking lot for the Fairview train station. It was busy, the sun glinting off the regimented lines of the commuter cars. Her dad said, that fuckboy in the Porsche has taken my spot again. Fuckboy, another term Pip immediately regretted teaching him. The only free spaces were down at the far end near the chain-link fence where the cameras didn't reach. Howie Bauer's old stomping ground. Money in one pocket, small paper bags in the other. And before Pip could help herself, the unclicking of her seatbelt became the tapping of Stanley Forbes' shoes on the concrete behind her. It was right now. Howie, not in the prison, but right there underneath the orange glow, downward shadows for eyes. Stanley reaches him, trading a handful of money for his life, for his secret. And as he turns to face Pip, dead-eyed, 6 holes split open inside him, spilling gore down his shirt and onto the concrete, and somehow it's on her hands, it's all over her hands, and, coming, Pickle? Her dad was holding the door open for her. Coming, she replied, wiping her hands against her smartest pants. The train into Grand Central was packed, and she stood shoulder to shoulder with other passengers, awkward closed-mouthed smiles substituting sorries as they bumped into one another. There were too many hands on the metal pole, so Pip was holding onto her dad's bent arm instead to keep her steady. If only it had worked. She saw Charlie Green twice on the train, the first time in the back of the man's head before he shifted to better read his newspaper. The second time, he was a man waiting on the platform, cradling a gun. But as he boarded their car, his face rearranged, lost all its resemblance to Charlie, and the gun was just an umbrella. It had been 3 months and the police still hadn't found him. His wife, Flora, had turned herself into the police station in Duluth, Minnesota 4 weeks ago. They had somehow gotten separated while on the run. She didn't know where her husband was, but the rumors circulating online were that he managed to make it across the border to Canada. Pip looked out for him anyway, not because she wanted him caught, but because she needed him found. And the difference that everything was everything, why things could never go back to normal again. Her dad caught her eye. "You nervous about the meeting?" he asked, over the screeching of the train's wheels as it slowed into Grand Central. "It will be fine. Just listen to Roger, okay? He's an excellent lawyer, knows what he's talking about." Roger Turner was an attorney at her dad's firm who was the best at defamation cases, apparently. They found him a few minutes later, waiting outside the old red brick conference center where the meeting room was booked. "Hello again, Pip," Roger said, holding out his hand to her. Pip quickly checked her hand for blood before shaking his. "Nice weekend, Victor?" "It was, thank you, Roger, and I have leftovers for lunch today, so it's going to be an excellent Monday, too. I suppose we better head in, then, if you're ready," Roger asked, Pip checking his watch, his other hands gripping a shining briefcase. Pip nodded. Her hands felt wet again, but it was just sweat. It was only sweat. "You'll be fine, darling," her dad told her, straightening out her collar. "Yes, I've done thousands of mediations," Roger grinned, swiping back his gray hair. "No need to worry. Call me when it's done," Pip's dad leaned down to bury a kiss in the top of her hair. "I'll see you at home tonight, Roger." "I'll see you at home tonight. Roger, I'll see you in the office later." "Yes, see you, Victor. After you, Pip." They were in the meeting room, 4E on the top floor. Pip asked to take the stairs because if her heart was hammering for that reason, it wasn't hammering for any other reason. That's how she rationalized it. Why she now went running anytime she felt her chest tighten, run until there was a different kind of hurt. They reached the top, old Roger puffing several steps behind her. A smartly dressed man stood in the corridor outside 4E, smiling when he saw them. "Ah, you must be Pippa Fitz and Bowie," he said. Another outstretched hand, another quick blood check. "And you, her counsel, Roger Turner. I'm Hussein Basir, and for today I am your independent mediator." He smiled, pushing his glasses up his thin nose. He looked kind and so eager he was almost bouncing. Pip hated to ruin his day, which she undoubtedly would. "Nice to meet you," she said, clearing her throat. "And you?" He clapped his hands together, surprising Pip. "So the other party in the meeting room, all ready to go, unless you have any questions beforehand?" He glanced at Roger. "I think we should probably get started." "Yes, all good." Roger sidestepped in front of Pip to take charge as Hussein ducked back into the open door to 4E. It was silent inside. Roger walked through, nodding, thanks to Scene, and then it was Pip's turn. She took a breath, arching her shoulders, and then let it out through gritted teeth. "Ready?" She stepped into the room, and his face was the first thing she saw, sitting on the opposite side of the long table, his angular cheekbones and a downward point to his mouth, his messy swept-back blonde hair. He glanced up to meet her eyes, and a hint of something dark and gloating in his. Max Hastings. That is the end of Chapter 1. I will see you guys in the next video for Chapter 2.